Wake the fuck up, samurai.
Don't want it, can't make me. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. My shirt should not be falling into the background that much because my shirt is much blacker than my green screen. I'll fix that in a minute. I am W. Adam Clark, and apparently, aside from having a transparent chest, I am the referee for this game. My fun fact is it was over 70 degrees today, so I was going to go out for a nice long bike ride, and things happened that made it not nice and not long, and that was the unfun part. But the fun part is at least it was reasonably warm today, so that was good. That's as much as I've got.
Hello, my name is Jerica. Jenny Outrageous on Twitch and Blue Sky and Twitter and all that stuff. I'm playing Neon Jubilee, the rocker girl. And yeah, I have new weapons now and a means to use them. And other questions about people in the game.
Why, whatever would you mean?
I guess the fun fact is that, I mean, it's sort of something both me and Sunny is shared is that I finally got around to showing them Twin Peaks, and we finished the first season, and they seem to be enjoying it, so I'm happy.
Hell yeah.
First season is definitely the best season. Also, definitely the best one to start with for many reasons.
Well, hello. I'm Sunny, Sunburst Wolf Dog on Blue Sky and Red Note, and I'm playing Thorn, the exotic solo, who is, I suppose, about to do absolute, circus acrobatics to dodge these questions.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
And fun fact. I'm gonna do a fun fact about a character, just in case it actually comes up, and also because I just haven't done that in a while. Thorn everybody's noticed that Thorn is very outwardly emotive. Like they tend to show how they're feeling on their sleeve with their ears and their tail. They whine, they sometimes yell, they sometimes do all this different stuff. One thing that Thorn just does not do is cry. Neon has definitely never actually seen them do that, and Tagger has probably seen them do that like about as many times as he can count on one hand. It's just not something they do often, if at all.
Okay. Interesting.
So if it does happen, it's very, very significant. And that's me.
Hi everyone, I am Morgoth the Wizard, playing X1R1, your resident Netrunner, and my fun fact is I just beat Cyberpunk 2077 like 2 hours ago, but
Yay!
I got caught up in a weird ending where I didn't quite finish, and Adam Smasher kicked my ass, so I actually have to go back and finish it. But I got to see the credits and everything. It was very cheerful, so I cried like a baby, but it was a very fun game. That's me.
Which ending did you get?
I technically got the suicide ending.
Oh, you failed the raid?
Yeah.
That what it was? Okay.
Hard. Went out like a blast, though. It was Nova.
Nice.
Well, folks, I'm the old bacon eater. I'm all eat bacon. I play games badly. I play the Grouch. He's a nomad. He can jack into vehicles and go vroom vroom, and hopefully stop having heart attacks now.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, we're still working on that, I know. Fun
We're
fact.
close, though. We have all the pieces.
I mean, that's true. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I mean, a very important piece is still cooking.
Yeah, it's still a couple of weeks out. Anyway, fun fact. Because of undue and corrupting influence from the referee, I now own an e-bike, and everybody in my office in real life wants to steal my e-bike because it is cool. I've only run a few miles on it so far, but God, it feels so good to ride a bike again.
Specifically, he got the step-through version of the exact step-over bike that I have. So,
yeah, I need the step through because I don't have the flexibility to go over anymore.
no, it's fine.
Although if I hadn't put the top bag on that, if I hadn't gotten that, I probably would have been able to. But frankly, I need that bag. So I don't mean especially for what I'm doing, but yeah, no, it's great when I'm on a straightaway and nobody's in around or anything like that, and I can, be pretty sure I'll be safe about it. And I hit that little thumb switch and I go for a few seconds.
Yep.
So much fun.
All right. So.
Oh wow! This one more off.
Things are going to get weird up in here. This is a show where my microphone volume is too low. This is a show about desperate, terrible times, which will force desperate and terrible people to do desperate and terrible things. This show will contain blood, violence, sexual situations, drug use, abuse, forced or coerced situations, and likely every possible combination of those words. We do not condone these acts, but offer them as a warning, much as we do not condone our own world becoming the dystopian nightmare fuel that this game is set in. If you enjoy our other programs, but this one makes you uncomfortable and you feel you cannot watch, please do not watch. Visit our other shows and say hi. We will not take offense to you choosing not to be here. If this program makes you feel uncomfortable, but you feel you need to watch for some reason, please continue to watch only as long as the show speaks to you, as it may be something you need to hear. As always, do not hurt yourself on our account. If this program does not make you feel uncomfortable, welcome to the dystopia of the near now. We don't have cookies, but we do have chips. I had chicharrones earlier, but they're out now. If you ever feel that you have become uncomfortable, please reevaluate your viewership. This show will be immediately demonetized on YouTube for all of the above reasons, with the exception of the chicharrones. You don't get demonetized for those yet. If you wish to contribute, please consider subscribing to Twitch, Streamloots, or Patreon. Consider donations to the channel. Consider buying Streamloots cards for yourself or for the community. However, please never contribute more than you can afford. Charity must begin at home. So make sure your own home is taken care of first. We love your face much more than we love your money, and we want you here for a long time, not a short, profitable one. Also, people posted in chat, that is the Tom Waits Just Corpse drinking game. We do not condone playing the Tom Waits Just Corpse drinking game. You may die. Show. What did we do 2 weeks ago?
Made friends
Almost
again.
die.
Got shot in the head. Thank God for heavy helmets.
Yes.
All of these statements are correct.
We proved. Well, I am convinced Cyber Jesus is real now.
We all survived.
Still, all of these
Barely.
statements are correct.
Thorn showed off that they are, in fact, Wolverine in every sense of the word.
Just going to point out that I do have a church map that has several statues of Cyber Jesus. That I know the players have not examined closely enough yet.
Yes.
So,
Where they keep the wine.
not in the statues. We're going to be doing a little bit of shifting around time this week, I believe, because we have several things that are going to start. So we finished up the invasion of the Reaper's base. And I believe that was Sunday. It was either Sunday or Monday that you guys were doing that.
Monday.
Okay.
It was a Monday.
Okay.
For me, it was a Tuesday.
For you, it's about to be a Tuesday. Grouch now believes in not buying the $5 helmet. Yeah. All right. You all successfully make it home after the raid. And this happens by a variety of methods. Some of you wind up going home with Grouch driving. Some of the other party members may be escorted by any of the other factions that were present. We had like 3 different gangs, 2 groups of nomads, lots of people with lots of friends. So there was, with the exception of the Voodoo Boys camp, there was a general amount of elation after the whole thing. So the raiding party leaves the area, and a number of after parties will begin basically being held by each of the individual factions. Those progress until dawn, where it is now Tuesday morning. And Tuesday will be a full moon. Did Neon and Thorn want to have a conversation before the everything, or wait until it is after the everything?
I mean, potentially short chat before the everything. Like, short as in Thorn might advise Grouch to just wait outside their apartment for a second,
Okay.
because Neon and them are going to have a chat in the lobby, and she's probably going to be not staying the night.
Okay.
I can do that.
We can start with that. I can change the sad music,
Neon.
and we can start with that.
Neon is just kind of very tired and a little twitchy after everything. And just like kind of leans up against like the wall of the hallway and kind of looks away.
They sort of, as they're coming up to her, like sort of crane their head to try to make eye contact with her, like if she'll look at them.
She kind of moves her eyes a little bit just to check them out, and then looks away again.
Hang on, wait.
A lot happened. Long night.
Yeah. And look, I know what you want to talk about. I get it. We can't do this right now. It's very clear and obvious. Like, we're just not in the headspace. We don't have the time. We don't have the energy. Like, no, I know you are itching for some kind of answers, but, like, even, after the fact, I'm recovering from a headshot tonight. I have my ritual, I'd say tomorrow, but technically later today. And then I'm going in for surgery on Wednesday. We just don't have the time to be doing this. I don't know what you're hoping to have happen tonight.
Yeah, that's weird to say. You got shot in the head. Now I'm here talking to you.
Yeah. It's not the first time. They like point to their blind eye.
Yeah. But you didn't get shot in the head, did you? You took the entire belt of a minigun. And we're just standing here, talking. And I know you're made of sturdier stuff, trust me. I'm very aware of how sturdy you can be. But... And I know that you're solo and all that. Strong and... there's more to it than that, I think. Because Cherry has also been a solo for a while now, and she was laid out by like 3 or 4 bullet shots from some fucking Nazi, and had to be hospitalized for almost an entire week because of it. Here you are. I've never seen a person get shot up as much as you do. And we're just standing here talking like it's nothing. And I don't know what that is. Or why that is. There's a lot of things you don't tell me about your past. And you don't want to. And I understand. Trust me. But even when you don't say something, I can at least infer it. When I ask you about your parents, you get angry and annoyed. And so I can infer that, you don't have a great relationship with them. In fact, you probably hate them. I mean, we're...
Did you really have to infer that? I've literally told you I hate them. Like, point blank
right.
to your face on multiple occasions.
What I'm saying is... I get it. Even if you're not going to tell me the details, I get it. I get that your parents aren't good people. When I ask you about your past with Tagger and with the other partners, you don't tell me, but you get wistful and sad, and something happened to them. And I understand that too. I also lost a person I had a relationship with. She was killed, and I still don't know who did it. And so I understand if whatever painful memory you have in there is someone that you've lost. I get it. Even if you don't want to say it or talk about it, I can understand that. But I don't understand, and I can't infer how we are still talking right now. Because everything about what happened tonight doesn't make any sense at all. And the only things I can infer about you in that sense is that you are some kind of secret agent or government spy or a much more intense, I don't know, mercenary than I ever thought you were to begin with.
Neon, stop talking. Just stop talking. Please. You do know that despite me being cagey about things that didn't happen around you, I am pretty open with you about things happening right now. or about things that are actually relevant to me and you's relationship, right? You know that about me? Or at least you trust that about me?
Yeah.
Then has it ever occurred to you at this point that if there's something I don't tell you about, that maybe there's a good reason that you shouldn't ask?
I guess. I just
Then
know who you are.
Maybe there are things about me you shouldn't speculate. Maybe there are things about me you really, really shouldn't speculate, especially out loud. Okay? And I don't know how else to get you to stop asking other than to just say it point blank, to just stop. Because I've tried the hinting, and I've tried the avoidance, and I've tried the downplaying, and clearly none of it is working. But either you're too smart to be asking these questions out loud, or you're not smart enough to be taking the hint. Pick one.
Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe that's on me. Because this is going to drive me insane. And it's because I care about you so much that I want to be there for you.
I'm aware, but I'm not. Whatever I was involved with back home is things I was involved with back home. It doesn't bear relevance to who I am now. It's not going to affect our lives now, or it shouldn't, at the very least. It is things
You say
I did.
that. You say that. And yet, your friend lives here now. That Dillon guy.
There's Pin.
I know. Look, you don't get buddy-buddy with people that quickly. He's someone from your past. Whoever he is. And if nothing else, I can always go talk to him about it.
Did she? Thorn suddenly grabs your shoulders very hard and forces you to look them in the eye, and they say, do not go talk to him about this. Do not do it. Only warning.
Fine. I just want to know what you're into, is all.
I don't want you getting killed. That's what I want. And you are getting way too nosy for your own good at this point.
Can you at least tell... At least admit to me this is weird. Right? This whole thing is weird.
What specifically?
Who you are. What you're going through. What this whole all this you being able to take so many shots, so much pain, so much violence, and still have enough strength to just you're not even wounded.
I'm wounded. They pull their mask up a little. There's like a little cut on their face. Look at his blood.
Specifically, right now, everyone's wounded because you all took 1 point of fatigue. But aside from that,
no. They pull the mask up.
Emotions hurt.
It aggravates. It aggravates a cut on their face, and it starts to bleed again after it stopped. And oh shit.
Get the lemon juice.
Yeah, a single cut, because that's what happens when you get riddled with bullets by a minigun.
Look, the secrecy, yeah, it's weird. All right, the fact that I just dropped everything and came from a whole other country to here on one job offer, yeah, that's weird. Me not wanting to talk about basically 80% of my past and talking about the rest of it as if it was somebody else, yes, it is weird. All right. It is, and I'm sorry.
The fact that, and you know what? The other fact that what you just said right now, that if I go looking for it, I could get killed. That makes it even more weird.
Yes, it is all very strange, and I'm sorry. And I, there are things that I wish I could mention to you, and I just. That are either too much for me to talk about, or I just can't. There are two huge chunks in my life that I am either not allowed to talk to you or not willing to about. Yes, that is strange. The bullet thing, I don't know. I can just do that. I never thought about it, to be honest.
But that's...
I'm being so real with you about that one. I don't know. I just can. I don't have an answer for you on that one.
All right. Fine. But the past... You all know the past is never going to get buried. Whatever it is you were part of, or who you were part of, or who you fucked over, will come back to you. And with I'm with you, it will affect me too. And I'd rather know what I'm dealing with, so I can be there at your side to help you get through it, than be jump scared by whatever forces you've meddled in.
And what if you don't? I don't mean what if you never know. I mean, what if I tell you every single detail of my life that I can purposefully remember, and you just don't get it, no matter how much I try? Can you live with that?
I ever been that dense? I make it a habit of understanding people. That's like part of my job.
I've met lots of people who want to understand things about me. I've met lots of people who want to think that they get it. And in my experience, they just don't. The best I can be is accepted and not understood. I have tried over and over and over again. And it always ends up the same way. Either they don't understand me, but they just generally accept me, which is the best case scenario, or they don't understand me and they make it my problem. They make it like I'm a bad person because they don't get it, or that I'm trying to hide something still from them because they don't get it. I have been around this bend so many different times. I'm
How many
saying
of
at
those-
the very least, if I give you everything I can give you, can you at least accept it? Minimum.
I like to think I could. Yeah. Thorn, you're different from everyone else. Both, and then that's not just because you have these weird powers or are cagey about everything.
Don't call them powers. You can make me seem like Superman or something. It's weird.
You kind of are.
Don't. Ugh.
But I've never met someone like you, and I'm not mad at you. I don't want this to be some another argument that we or something. It's not that. It doesn't come from some place of anger or frustration. It's because that I care about you, and I want to be close to you, and I just want to know you because it's important to me. Because I'm here for you.
I get that.
And
But
you
I have shared more with you in the past couple weeks than I have in months. And it doesn't seem like you're happy about it. It seems like you are demanding more and more and more the second I seem to be loosening up at all. And it's a lot. And it seems more like you're smelling weakness than you're actually trying to get me to be vulnerable. You are pushing me too much. It's too much. And you need to back off. Seriously.
can we do one thing?
What?
Can I at least have a day with you before you go under surgery? Because all this is happening so fast.
Alright. Neil, I told him the surgery date was flexible as is, and I'm clearly a little more beat up than I thought I was. I can push the start date to Thursday or maybe Friday, and you can come by Wednesday if you want to. It'll be after I do my ritual. I'll be more clear-headed then. I don't know if there's anything more to talk about, but if there is...
I just want to talk about the surgery a bit. I'm not going to try and talk you out of it. I just want to voice my concerns, and it is relevant to what we're talking about now, but obviously tonight we're not going to get anywhere.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to toot my own horn or try and glorify the things that I've done tonight, but how many of those people you tried to talk to you about would have ended the life of a top-tier mercenary just to save you?
Thorn, they have their hand over their mouth because they're just kind of rubbing. There's this look at, like I mentioned last session, there's this look in their eye that they look at you with that may be hard to read unless you roll something, just because you've never seen them look at you like that. You've never seen them look at anyone like that before.
I can attempt to, if
Go for it.
human perception, I'm assuming.
That'd be it.
Oh,
All right. That's a 19.
that solely because it's a crit. You know how you said "I love you" to Thorn and they didn't say it back necessarily,
Mhm.
and they just seemed kind of shocked and they were like, "Are you sure?"
Let's assume it's for this purpose of this read, it was a double crit, a 10 followed by a 10,
Oh, okay.
because there was a card displayed.
Yeah.
So please continue
That
with that
look-
information.
Yeah, like I said, you said "I love you." They didn't necessarily say it back, and you didn't really expect them to. What they're looking at you with right now, that might be love. That might be the look of somebody who just figured out that they might actually love you, even though they're not saying it.
She just kind of smiles. Like I said, I'm here for you. But I'll let you go and have your ritual and everything you need to do. And I'd rather end this on a positive note. So, can I kiss you?
They rip the mask off and immediately they like pounce on you. It is very, very passionate. This is not a way they have kissed you before. They are like all the fuck over you right now.
And with that, we will pull from this scene forward to... A lot of things are happening this week. One of them is I had a date wrong, so that actually needs to wait for another week, and who knows how long it'll take you guys to get that far. Actually, no, we'll probably be there pretty quickly because I have ways to speed this shit up. But the week begins. You go to the bike shop and you have a conversation with the bike shop owner about how and by the way, literally the next morning, the scream sheets are already all over on this, including what appears to be some drone video footage.
Fuck.
What the news is focusing on is multiple gangs and two different nations of nomads following the output girls into the base of a known gang that is hated in the neighborhood, and essentially clearing them out of existence. Some of the video footage focuses specifically on Neon and the output girls. Some of it highlights the nomads. Some of it highlights the voodoo boys. Some of it highlights Thorn. Some of it highlights X1R1 and Grouch. Some of it highlights the satin dolls as they're well known. You see a couple images of footage that have Ripperjack in them, but oddly enough, his head is always turned away from whatever the recording device was at the time, so no one actually makes his face at all.
Good man.
And literally not a shred of camera footage of Dillon exists. He's just not visible to cameras. Literally in spots where you're pretty sure he was standing with, like, there are several shots where each of you see yourself, like long angle shots, where you see yourselves where you know he was within 5 or 10 feet of you, left, right, center, whatever. But they're just not there in the video.
Neon, Dillon died 40 years ago.
You imagine the whole thing.
It was mass psychosis. Thorn just fight clubbed all of you.
As news reports start to spread about the Output Girls and their attempts to practice what they preach and, make the city safer for everyone in it. So there's a tremendous amount of positive press. What little negative press that you see over the next, because the news cycles in Night City are micro short, right? So the entire news cycle takes like 4 hours. Like this is all already old news by 1 p.m. But one of the things that comes up in that cycle is when images focus on Neon and Thorn. At first, you start to see a counter spin of because weird angles always flow in through these news stories. You almost start to see a counter spin of like a racist angle touted, as it is two very white looking people in a very not white neighborhood engaging in a military action. But such conversations are very quickly squashed by A, look at the rest of the band, B, the Voodoo Boys weren't directly involved, C, the number of nomads, etc. So it spreads out and flattens.
Yeah, it's like honestly, based on what I remember, like white people were like the minority of that whole thing.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's brought up based on one image and then is quickly flattened. So that's not even an issue. But what maintains an issue?
Some guy on Twitter.
Yeah. Just on a bulletin board. Twitter doesn't even. Twitter is too high tech for us. We only have cybernetic limbs, and so it's one of the reasons why I wanted to play 2020 specifically. Nothing beyond a bulletin board exists in the internet.
Oh my god.
A tablet only holds 100 pages worth of information.
Yep.
By the way, have you seen my cyber eyes and ears? Like,
it's my favorite kind of future where your entire like a cyborg can run off of 25 megabytes of RAM.
right?
But also we have VR chat.
Because futurisms where they use a computer to be able to predict, fourth dimensional spatial positions in order to send someone back in time, and that is an insanely powerful computer because it runs on 230K. Yeah. So it's 5 times the machine that sent a man to the moon. Yeah, and it's not even a tenth of the machine that's in my pocket. Shut up. So, Skull Cowboy is dead. The Voodoo Boys have announced that they are in something called 9 Day, or 9 Night specifically. During 9 Night, the Voodoo Boys are basically off the table They are still doing social things, like social obligations for their turf and whatnot. But aside from that, they are not talking. They are doing everything in-house. They are basically spending 9 nights starting from the 13th behind closed doors, reminiscing about Skull Cowboy, and anyone that tries to start anything with them knows enough to know that this is a very bad idea. So their turf is pretty much left alone, with the exception of 1 or 2 people that are never heard from again.
Hey, there was something I kind of wanted to do.
Okay.
I guess you don't have to like fully like act it out. I just want to say I did it.
Okay.
Because you mentioned that there's like footage and stuff of the raid and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I had this idea where after everything was over and we all came back out and everyone was waiting for us, like all the different things.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted Nia at one point to go up, stand up on like a car somewhere or something, and use her Vox recorder to heighten her voice up, and basically give a speech.
Okay.
Congratulating everyone about what we did.
Okay.
And also pointing out how like it's basically the speech at the beginning of the Warriors. Okay. Where it's like, you know, we got 2 nomads here working together. No, nomad. We got the Voodoo Boys. We got the Satin Dolls. This is how community works. This is how the community should be like. We have done like this great thing together, all of us. Like basically, just doing this this whole like can you dig it kind of like speech of, if we all work together like this, we can accomplish so much more than if we're fighting each other. So I just want to say, like, Neon would try to do something like that for the people afterwards.
Give me a oratory roll with your charismatic leadership as a bonus. So oratory with a +7.
Okay.
So 23.
23.
And then 24. So you got a +1. Okay. The speech goes over incredibly well. Incredibly well.
Oh.
So.
This was kind of Neon's like whole thing with wanting to do this, is like trying to show this like communal aspect of it and rooting out bad people from good communities and stuff. And that's especially so like I kind of just want to have her do this whole like thing of, you know, showing that what we can do when we're all together. We don't have to rely on the corpse and the cops and everything else. So as a community, we can do all these like great things, kind of stuff.
Nice. And are you recording that so that you can broadband it later, or are you doing that just?
I'll probably have Ariel record it.
Okay.
Because we mentioned that she's the one that kind of works the fan page.
Mm-hmm.
So our like fan site thing, I'll have her record it and then have her post it on the fan page.
Okay. In the midst of all this news going off, you go back to the owner of Pacific Cycle. He gives you the bike. You drive the bike to Chavez, who is somewhat confused but pleasantly surprised to find out that he owns the bike legally and doesn't need to file any of the serial numbers, for which he gives you guys 1,000 eddies as a bonus.
Hell yeah.
The best kind of ice is just buying it legally.
Right?
It only took the death of a whole gang.
but they were not a nice gang, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Nobody likes them.
Okay.
It's like in True Lies. Do you ever kill anyone? Yes, but they were all bad.
Yes, but they were all bad. Thorn has their ritual evening.
Hmm.
Thorn and Neon have a positive and pleasant day on Friday where I'm not going to even allow any gang warfare or cyber psycho cards to be played. But
Okay.
what we are going to do is each of you tell me, each of the two of you.
You mean Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell me one or two things that that the two of you do on a Wednesday that you really enjoy, and we will have, the video will have quick cutscenes of these things happening.
I mean, we'll probably just go out and like catch a movie or something and
Mm.
hang out back home.
Okay.
Like, what kind of things does Thorn like doing?
um, I mean, they like spending time with other people. So, like, if the band wanted to hang out, they probably would want to do that. Even just to have like a movie night or something, because they're kind of recovering at the moment. They usually like going out in the world, but they're probably not in the mood to go out somewhere that's like a club at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
They just like people. They just like being around people. Any excuse to do that, they'll just do that.
Yeah, we'll invite like Cherry and stuff to like kind of hang out and
Okay.
for Thorn for the one time Thorn has can go have the girls' night aspect of their non-binary self.
Yeah,
All right.
they might bring up. They'll be like, "I've been spending a lot of time with the boys. I want to have a girls' night."
Yep. Okay. That works.
I'm getting gussied.
And then we move towards Thursday. Thorn will go into the operation for the Sandevistan Plus.
They might bring Neon just to
Okay.
Neil's just to go down, just to moral support until they're asleep.
All right. While you're down there, the two of you are in the CyberDoc's office, and he is currently getting everything together, and you have a couple moments to speak.
I kind of look at Thorn and be like, actually, if we're doing this, hey, you think maybe we could get some kind of like body scan of you? Just to see if there is something else there. Like, if you don't know what you like, why you're so sturdy, like truly, like maybe the doc can give you like a physical scan or something to see if we can find something that as to why you can take so many bullets and not die.
I mean, I guess. Plus, it might maybe as a body scan, it might just be useful to have like a body scan before I get the Sandevistan installed versus after, just so that if anything is different that we didn't expect, we can kind of like compare, like have a
I can
have a control
I can
variant?
give it a shot. Is there anything you're expecting me to find that we don't know about?
Well, Doc, in your professional opinion, I have a question.
All right.
The other day, Thorn here took an entire 25 bullet belt of a minigun at point blank range to the chest and face and just kind of walked it off. That, in your opinion, isn't normal, right?
It's not normal. I have seen it. I have heard of it happening before. I've never seen it myself, but I'm not going to say that it can't happen. I will say that there are very few people I've ever heard of doing that weren't a full body conversion. That changes the odds in your favor a lot.
To be fair, it doesn't feel like resistance, because like a full body conversion, they can just kind of take that and not feel very hurt. It feels more like I get very hurt and then I'm suddenly not hurt anymore. Which I don't know if that's different. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I always just assumed it was like adrenaline or something.
Adrenaline that heals wounds very quickly.
I don't know what adrenaline does. You think I know how hormones work?
I would hope so. You're injecting them.
I go to a doctor and I say, give me the boy hormones, and I put them in, like, you have a car, you turn the key and it goes. You don't know how it works.
Now, I will say, Morgan Blackhand has done it. Eris Eclipse has done it. Adam Smasher does it a lot, but that's mostly because he's only got about 14 ounces of meat left in him.
But that's what I'm talking about. Is that yes, like full conversions can do this, and Adam Smasher is a walking battleship, from what I understand.
Much, yeah.
But you know, in my own physical examinations, I can tell you for sure that Thorn is very human.
Their face gets all red.
And
that's very ironic. I want to point out how ironic that is for you to be saying about an exotic.
Well,
I want you to acknowledge that.
Okay, fine. Humanish. Human adjacent.
Meat.
Dog coated. I mean, like, she kind of hooks up like her arm, because she has her mechanical arm, and she just kind of like runs it over stuff. Like, I know how prosthetics feel as someone with one.
All right, so there's a lot involved in science and technology, and I will admit that a lot of it is beyond what I keep in this brain pan. But I will tell you that there are traditional, normal cybernetics that are fusing of metal to flesh. And these are what you're going to find most on the street level. These are what you are going to find most in edge running. These are what Ripperdocs trade, because they generally can be moved from one host to another, willingly or otherwise. The metal doesn't mind. The metal doesn't remember. The metal doesn't bond. It just is. Now, that's cybernetics. There is a subset of cybernetics called bionetic design. Bionetic is entirely different. Bionetic is nanites. Bionetic is superflesh. Bionetic is organs turned up to 12.
And as far as Thorn knows, he doesn't have any of that.
I mean, I've got what big ears, what big eyes, what big teeth, what big tail. I've got some little testy-like things where my ovaries should be, and I got a hormone injector shoved up my pussy. That's about the most I'm aware of. So if you're doing a big scan, I mean, I don't know, things that aren't obvious, maybe look at my DNA, my blood, my enzymes, whatever those are, just something that isn't obvious.
Nothing exceptional came up when I was doing the blood work for this surgery and for other things that we've done before. But I'm going to have you full kit in the lab for a week. That means I can hook up some other machines that I don't get to utilize a lot. I can run some tests that normally people don't do because it requires you to be hooked up to a diagnostic for 48 hours straight. And let's face it, nobody's got time for that if they're awake. So I'll do some tissue work and we'll see if we come up with anything out of the ordinary.
All right. I just want to, at the very least, we can do that.
Yeah.
But if nothing comes up, then I guess he's just magic. But, you know, we can try something.
I mean,
that's a whole other conversation, I suppose.
A lot of people would say Morgan Blackhand is just magic because that man has the least cybernetics of anyone in the game. He is based entirely on almost skill and skill alone, and he fairly regularly embarrasses Adam Smasher, so...
Also, to be fair, with a name like Morgan Blackhand, you were kind of asking for the wizard allegations at that point.
I mean, there is that. I mean, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that's not what it says on his birth certificate, but more than likely he took that as a mercenary handle because of the black anodized chrome hand that he has. Which is that, and a Neuralink is pretty much about all he's got. He is very much he is very much a man based out of his skill, not out of his equipment.
Well, if we've got everything settled, then Thorn leans back and just says, "Be gentle, I'm a virgin."
Right. Hits a couple buttons, and Thorn, eyes closed.
There goes Bacon. Put a shot glass on the screen.
I just look at the Ripper Doc, and just as Thorn goes to sleep, just be careful with them, okay?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, not that I'm not always, but yeah, obviously.
I don't want to. I'm not taking your skill into question. You seem like you're a pretty good guy at what you do. I just worry, especially like I said, with all the things with Thorn lately about the way they can just take so much damage in a way that I've never seen before. Even I've seen other solos that I've known drop to a fourth of the damage that Thorn has taken in the past couple of days, and they just walk it off in a way that I don't understand.
Okay. I'll see what I can come up with.
My only worry is that the reason why I was asking for a scan really is if there is something else in his system. My worry is that Sandevistan's going to overload whatever and my biggest fear right now, just seeing what he's gone through, my biggest fear is that the cyberpsychosis.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. I will be able to run a full test on the Sandevistan after I get it in, before they even wake up. And if it looks like there's any neural feedback or shock loop or anything else going on, then I can take it back out and put everything back in again before they even wake up. So I can keep an eye on everything and do my best to make sure that we don't have any surprises, because to be totally honest, there is not a Ripper Doc anywhere in the world that really enjoys the idea of putting the amount of material into somebody that could make them, jump up off the table and try to redecorate their office Ripper Doc blood red. So, when we're talking about this this level of interpolation, we're going to be very careful.
All right. Thank you, Doc.
You got it. As that scene closes, we will do a Friday show for Neon and the Output Girls. It is just a local show. It's not anything terribly important, but it is announced that the benefits show, by the way, the show that you do on Friday pulls record crowds after you being in the news earlier in the week. And it's announced at this show that there will be the benefit show on January the 24th.
Okay. This is one of those like local hole in the wall areas that can hold like maybe like 150 people, but then like 5,000 shows or like 500 people show or something like that.
The place you were playing this Friday, yes, that's exactly what happened again. Thorn, the charity event. Shiny is playing Bullseyes for the song checks that you didn't have to make. Just to maintain. The event, the charity event on the 24th will be at the Grand Illusion. The announcement is made.
Okay. I'll have Nalani make some arrangements with Mammoth to set up some patrols there to make sure that there isn't another shootout.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need.
And we get to Saturday, and while Neon is home, you receive a knock on the door.
I'll do that thing, the video cam thing, just to see who it is.
And you see Dillon Murphy.
Oh.
I just like...
Uh-oh.
I can see him on this camera?
Yes. Yes, you can.
I kind of like, my eyes kind of go, her eyes kind of go wide, and this whole like, remembering what Thorn said about don't go looking for him, and just like, there's a voice. Is there a voice, like, can I like, is there like a voice thing you can like press? Sure. Hello?
Hey, so, I was wondering if you had some time to go for a walk.
Uh-oh.
Can I human perception him if that means
Go for it.
Go for does that mean go for a walk or
go for a walk?
Or go for a walk that
Thorn always get excited when you mention walking.
Wait, there's an icon for this.
a 10.
You don't detect anything duplicitous from him.
Okay, let me hold on a sec and
Sure.
get my stuff,
Sure.
and I'll put like more of my like gear on and put on my the new antimatter gun, whatever the fuck it's called.
Okay.
The thing I have.
Gauss pistol.
Yeah, the Gauss pistol and stuff, and just kind of pack it in and everything, and very, very slowly kind of open the door,
Okay.
and just kind of smile and go,
As you open the
Hey.
door, he's just across the hall from the door, shoulders against the wall, 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot on the wall, in that leg bent position, arms folded across his chest.
"Hi,
Hey, so, let's go for a walk. What do you think?
am I is this a walk I'm gonna return home from?"
I mean, it's Night City, so who can say, but at least that's my intention.
All right. Excuse my trepidation, but a random white guy showing up to my house and saying, "Let's go for a walk," can have connotations.
I mean, you're not wrong, and it's not like I haven't been accused of such things in the past. So it's not without previous occurrence. However,
Yeah, but let's go, and I'll lock up and head out with them.
you go out of the apartment building, and you're still walking around Studio City, specifically making sure to avoid where certain areas where Studio City connects to other neighborhoods. But you're taking a walk. So, just so you know, I am here of my own volition. Nobody asked me to come talk to you, and I'm pretty sure some people are going to be upset that I did.
Well, I know one of them is going to be.
Right. But, be that as it may, I can just tell them to fuck right off and not care about it. So, he holds out a device in his hand that is about the size of a pack of cigarettes, but is a entirely metal block with what looks like either a air screen or a speaker node of some kind, a on-off button, and a light. And he just holds the device up and goes, "Do you want to do the honors, or should I push it?"
I'll just reach in and push it.
Okay. As you push the button for a split second, a nanosecond, you think you feel like an electronic whine kick up, but then it disappears. Although, As I say that, your hearing is fine. Your speaking is fine, but you are aware that certain frequencies or modulations on the audio vox are not currently available. And your brain dance recorder, its connection to your neural net processor is flickering in and out. It's not enough that it's distracting you in any way. It's nothing more than just a blinking light on the dashboard in your mind. But you are immediately aware that occurred. You are immediately aware that just occurred.
Okay.
Okay.
Sound and audio, sound and video dampening.
More making sure that no one hears what we're discussing but the two of us.
Okay.
So, I am a fairly smart guy, and I see things. So, and you can choose to fill in blanks, you can choose not to, that's your choice. I am willing to make the assumption that you and Thorn have had certain disagreements about a lack of forwarding of information.
You could say that. Are you... And this is intuition, this isn't you wiretapping Thorn or keeping some tab on him?
Nah, just watching the way the back leg moves.
Hmm.
So, what I can do is answer things in a different way. I can't give all the answers, and I can't necessarily make it easy. But what I can do is try to fill in some blanks.
Full disclosure, I mentioned to Thorn that talking to you was a possibility, but they also said that if I went to you, that someone would probably kill me.
You see, let's say you're on stage and you're in the middle of an important set in an important place. If some random that you and your band doesn't recognize jumps up on stage trying to jam with you in the middle of the song, it's quite likely that your security is going to take action about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's assume, same situation, but you see the person in the front row, and they're holding up a sign that says, "Let me come play with you on stage." And for whatever reason, you decide to let them. Then your security reacts differently, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, long way around, because I came to you to have this conversation. We never need to know what would happen if you came to me to have this conversation, because it would be different.
All right.
Okay. So, and he just kind of taps the box. Ask away.
Just whatever.
Ask anything you want to ask. I'll answer anything I want to answer.
What's your relationship to him? To them? Are you their former boss or something?
Thorn and I both worked for the same organization at one point. And it's a cultural thing, and I don't feel like explaining all of the details about it right now. But
Morgoth Wizard
can
has purchased
assume
10 packs.
that I am the older brother of someone they used to date, and that's how we met.
All right. I asked them about some of their history with people they've dated, but they seem to be pretty sad
Sir
about
Shiny has purchased 20 packs.
that. I'm assuming whoever Thorn was with didn't make it.
No.
I'm sorry.
In the old country, we have a saying, it is what it is.
I lost a friend too, like that, so. A partner.
We, there's an old adage, bury your dead loudly. We have a lot of loud nights.
Thorn worked with you in some organization. Can you say what that is?
The organization that Thorn and I worked for, and we were never on the same teams, but we both worked for an organization that was against the government of the time.
Is there a is there a way I can make like a history or some sort of knowledge if I can sort of
Sure.
suss out what he's talking about?
I'll give you one of those. $11. Cool. There.
1 second.
All right. Yay! 21. All of the bullseye cards being thrown tonight.
Whoever got it first, everybody else gets refunds.
No, I just mean like that is about the 7th or 8th bullseye card being played for Neon roles. 4 of those roles didn't even happen.
I'm so tired of this being secret. Please just guess it.
So you are aware that there was a bit of an uproar in the UK. The alternate history for the US is an alternate history. The alternate history for the UK is an alternate history of its own that involved around the same time that the US collapsed due to internal and external pressures and global food shortages and all of the fuel being changed and all kinds of wars happening. U.S. got it worse because U.S.'s problems were specifically a change in the way food was produced in the heartland and the government looking dumb for losing 4 wars back to back to back in South America. In the UK, it was the general dissolution of the UN, the formation of, very similar to the EU we have now, there was a formation of a European Commission, and that's literally where the Eurodollar comes from. The eddies are basically this world's Eurodollars. During this time, there was a lot of upheaval in the UK, and the UK instituted a martial law throughout the entire kingdom that was not very harsh if you were in like central or southern England, but if you were from the north or if you were from Ireland, became very, very severe. And this period of martial law led to the reinstatement of the British Crown to power over Parliament, the way that it is currently in the cyberpunk world today. The rise of the return of monarchy, some would say fascism, in the UK led to a number of political groups that had an adversarial relationship with the crown, either being formed or being reformed. And because you are talking about 2 people from Ireland, the strongest of those would have been the IRA. There are many others. Some of them were feeder programs for the IRA. Some were just their own thing. Some of them were basically just punk gangs, punk bands. But you basically run the gamut from punk gangs that were Guardian gangs that were anti-England, to organizations like the Sons of Ireland, to organizations like the IRA, and everywhere in between. There were people that were preached a social disillusion, but to do it passively. There were people that called for the assassination of the monarchy, everywhere in between. So it doesn't really nail down what they were in, but you are familiar with there being a very strong social upheaval about 5 to 10 years ago in the UK, where it was like 20 to 25 years ago in the US, which was caused the formation of the new United States of America and the Free States and all of that.
Neon sort of like almost like starts to like almost say the name, but then stops. Huh. Okay, that makes sense.
So, I can't give you certain specifics. I can tell you in...
Not.
Go ahead.
I'm assuming. Try and remember my history. Let's just say whatever Thorn was involved with is has to do with the song "Zombie" by the Cranberries, right?
It can be taken that way. It's a good song, by the way.
It is.
So, I kind of want to reassure you that in the world that I used to run in, you only ever really got two kinds of people, at least two kinds of people that stayed around for any length of time. And that is your fighters and your killers.
Where does Thorn fall into that?
And I wanted to assure you that Thorn is very specifically a fighter that has the talent to be a killer, but isn't.
I know that much.
Good.
I mean, I've seen them work, and I realize how brutal they can be, but they're still a puppy inside.
So, there's a lot that we did back home. The good news is those skills have a lot of useful applications in a city like Night City. The other good news is those situations are, for the most part, behind us and unlikely to follow us here. That's one of the reasons why I'm here. Didn't realize that they were, but be that as it may, that's one of the reasons why probably both of us are here, although you being here is probably more of a reason for Thorn being here than it being here, if that makes sense.
Well, when we met, they were in kind of a bad way, but they knew how to, protect us from the Turf Island that we had to play a thing in, and took a few people out. We thought, hey, they make a good bodyguard.
Yeah, it's a good call. I mean, I'm not going to say that you definitely saved their life by getting them here instead of there, but it sure didn't hurt.
I'm glad I could. They deserve a new life.
So, what else do you need to know? This is your golden ticket. You might as well use it.
I guess just so I know for my own mental notes, the partner that it's Siobhan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Your
Didn't
sister?
mention by name just because I wasn't sure if that was common knowledge or not, to be fair.
They mentioned that they were important to them, and but didn't go in details about anything beyond that. I don't want to bring back old memories if they're close to you too. So.
Let me close that one with things went sideways. It was neither Thorn nor Siobhan's fault that things went sideways. And both of them wound up paying a price for it.
All right. I guess. Was Tagger part of your group too?
And he just laughed. He was like, "Oh no." I mean, he's a wonderful boy, but I'm nervous for anyone that doesn't have subdermal armor anytime that boy picks up a weapon.
Yeah. I assumed as much, but I figure I had to ask.
He has the mindset, and he would want to be, but he's not a fighter, and he's not a killer. So he's one of the ones that wouldn't last in those circles too long. So Thorn did them a solid by, keeping them distracted, as it were. I mean, salt to the earth, good boy, but yeah, not a combatant, shall we say?
I've noticed. I guess. Well, two things, I suppose. One, I'm sure is a whole topic unto itself, maybe, or maybe you don't know anything about it. But has Thorn always been someone who can just shrug off anything in a way that seems almost uncanny?
I mean, they did get shot in the face at point blank range, and all they got was that cheeky little scar about it. But yeah, there's always been a bit of. Before Thorn was good, Thorn was in the better lucky than good category for things like that, and then Thorn got good.
Well, they mentioned that wasn't the first time they got shot in the face. That's why their eye is like that.
Yeah. So
no one questioned it.
Yeah, some things you just don't question. You just figure it's a 1 in a million chance. You thank your lucky stars and you move on.
1 in a million chance, sure, but it's 1 in a million chance that keeps rolling that one multiple times in a way that I guess I assume that you don't know anything about if Thorn has any sort of other augmentations that you're aware of.
Nothing that I know of. Nothing that would cause that anyway.
Okay. I guess whatever is going on, because they don't know either, and they never questioned it until now.
Yeah, it's just those things that being lucky is a little bit of a curse in that when you are lucky, you don't bring up that you are lucky because being lucky generally infers that someone else just got unlucky. Or even worse, that people around you tend to be unluckier than you regularly. So it's something best not thought about too much, usually.
I don't know. I consider myself pretty lucky too.
Well, so far from what I've seen, you got luck and you're good. So I would say just keep doing the things you're doing because they seem to be working pretty well.
Do you know much about Thorn's parents?
I know that I know that Thorn wasn't born in the UK. I know that Thorn moved to the UK when they were young, and it had to do with their family's occupation.
Is that why their accents like that?
Yeah, a little bit in betweens. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they moved over for a occupational for a family occupation, and then had to reassimilate into culture, and let's just say not all of that worked out that well.
Thorn doesn't like talking about their family, and again, I understand, as you know, both of us being who we are, we both have had our issues with family and how they respond to our choices in life. But there's something else in that hatred that seems like it's more intense than just a family that wouldn't accept who they were. And I was just curious if you knew anything about who they are. And if there's any chance that they can come here.
Thorn is in many ways the wolfhound that they pretend to be. Thorn is loyal, but also doesn't forgive easily. Just like a good Irish wolfhound. So they are someone that is loyal, is dutiful, will stand there and give you the opportunity to disrespect them deeply once, hoping that it never happens. But when it does happen, and it inevitably does, a wolfhound don't forget. A wolfhound is going to remember who you were, what you did. And they may not bite, but they're never going to come to you, and they're never going to trust you. And that's about all I can say on that.
Okay. Um, thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anything I need to worry about when it comes to their past and
Generally, if we're here in this country rather than in the old country, that means we're out of the game. That means we have taken all of our chips off the table and we are not holding any cards, and we might not even still be in the room at all, but we are definitely not in the game. One thing that both sides generally will respect where we come from is recognizing the difference between someone in the game and someone out of the game. Mostly because if someone is out of the game, they really don't want to get pulled back into the game. So they're not going to say or do anything that would cause them to have to reintegrate and pick up new cards. And the people that we worked with don't want us back in the game because in many cases we're already well known and we're already a liability, and that's why we wanted out in the first fucking place. So
And that's why you don't show up on each of the cameras.
I mean, that's not the reason why I don't show up, but it's part of it. And he also just taps on the box. So, we don't want to go back. Our employers don't want us to go back. And more importantly, the people that we used to take action on are just glad we're not fucking with them anymore. So generally, they're not going to come after us. Because if they do, then we need to start fucking with them again. Where we come from, the powers that be, they don't have an American ego. They're more pragmatic. If you fuck with an American politician, you rub their nose into the mud publicly, they're going to remember that, and they're going to want to make sure that you publicly have to answer for it. In the UK, if you did that, and you got away with it, and you got away, it's generally forgotten about because it's generally forgotten about by the public. And those things age out very quickly, and no one has a need to get revenge or make sure the points align if one player is out of the game. They'll just let them go. From what I've seen, from what I've heard here, that's not always the case.
Yeah. Usually Americans hold grudges.
Yeah.
And chase you very far.
And we'll spend a lot more money than that vengeance is worth trying to make sure that one didn't get away out of nothing more than pure stupid pride. But those kind of people with that kind of pride can pay a lot of bills. So, I'm here.
So you're working as the edge runner too here?
I mostly keep my head down these days. Mostly what I do is work as a gardener at Holy Family. When I have occasion to seek outside work, I make sure that it takes a day or two, no longer, and has no implication for Father Kevin and the church.
So, I guess I should ask then, like, not that I'm not grateful, but why help us? Did you gain anything from tearing apart some low-life gang in the middle of Pacifica? You're not even from there. Or not even live there.
Well, I got a call from a friend. And that friend was very interested in making sure that you and Thorn had a bit of a guardian angel while you went in to do the thing that you were doing.
We do appreciate it. I don't know if we could have done what we did without you and so many others. Cowboy.
I mean, nobody would have expected that Genghis was down there, so that's... And I didn't even have any reports that said he was working with them, so that... Yeah, I'm glad I was there. Kind of not glad I was there because it fucking hurt a lot, but I'm glad that that the two of you didn't have to deal with them by yourselves. Because even with you and me and Thorn and Skull Cowboy and your runner friend and your nomad friend, we still... That was almost a lot worse than it was.
Yeah. One of Night City's top mercs ended by some random rocker girl from Haywood.
It's... Do you want to know the sad thing? When when killers die, if everyone assumes that it's this grand standoff, Genghis versus Morgan Blackhand, and it's two premier mercs eyeing each other down with steely gazes until one of them twitches, and as soon as one of them twitches, the other one shoots, and it's one shot and it's over, and a double tap to make sure. And that's the image everyone has of a mercenary's life. And I gotta tell you, the books, we had a hell of a PR person. Because the truth is, every single day that you wake up in a cold sweat until you realize that there's no one there. And every single night, you go to bed with your back to the wall when you can't sleep. And all the hours in between, your eyes can't help but scan every single person that you see walking down the street, walking into a convenience store, walking into a restaurant that you're in, because any single one of them could either be being paid to try to have a terrible day, or can simply be doing it because they recognize you and they think that this is going to make them famous. From the day you get known, from the day you become a commodity in this industry, you never have another day of peace.
Is that what I am now?
You're in a
After
different
all
industry. You're a rocker. You are someone that people will admire, corporations will fear, and people will have your face on t-shirts. Me, I'm someone that corporations will admire, people will fear, and the only place my picture is going to appear is in a precinct. We're not the same.
Yeah. Well, right now Thorn's getting work done, installing a new cybernetic. Hopefully everything goes well and it doesn't affect their mind too much. Knowing this stuff does help.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's no
I don't
problem.
know how to say this to them when they get up, but I'm sure it'll be a fun conversation.
Having known people who know people who have gone psycho, the best thing you can do for Thorn when they're done recovery is make sure that they know that they're not alone, and make sure that they know that they are still a person. Because, and he just kind of brings up his metal arm that is covered with such a high degree quality of synth skin that even knowing that it's cybernetic, the only time you can tell is when he moves his hand. You can see that the knuckles don't move quite the way skeletal knuckles do, stuff like that. Other than that, the skin job on the arm is immaculate. This kind of thing, it does wear on you. It does take some out of you. But that can be overcome with the power of positive thinking. So just make sure they have that support.
When he does the like hand thing, Neon then kind of also holds up her own like much more cheaper metal arm that's painted trans colors and stuff, and just yeah, I know.
Did you ever think of getting that one updated a little bit, maybe? I mean, it looks like it's a older model. It doesn't look like it was top of the line even when it was new. Might help to replace it.
Probably one of these times.
Unless you're specifically attached to why it became specifically attached to you. I know there are people like that.
Well, it was a stopgap. The person broke my arm because I said no. And it never healed right. So I replaced it.
Good for you.
Maybe I can... So, I've kind of kitted this out at the very least for what I can do to make it more of a symbol than a crutch. But you're right, maybe I do need a new coat of paint on it and some work, but I'll get to that when I get to that.
All right. Well, and without having realized it, you now realize that as you turn the corner, during this conversation, he has managed to map out Studio City in his head, so that as the conversation is finishing, you're turning back onto your block.
You're good.
Don't have a driver's license in this country, so I spend a lot of time walking. Makes it easier to recognize landmarks.
I just have anxiety.
Oh, that's another way to do it. Kind of walks you up to the front door of the building and just goes, "If you need me, Holy Family, you'll know where to find me." And you see that he switches off the device that he was carrying. The light disappears. There is again a almost reverse whine that you hear for a split second, and then the modulation for your audio vox and the record capabilities for your brain dance recording equipment come back online.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. You too.
If you ever
Go ahead.
want to stop by if you ever want to come see one of the shows one day, you're always welcome. We'll get you a VIP status or something.
I'll keep
I
that
know,
in mind.
maybe it's not. I know I'm probably not the kind of music you're into, but hey, offers on the table.
I appreciate it. And with that, he turns and walks away. How is Neon feeling as she heads back upstairs, back inside and upstairs?
There is sort of a sense of, like, closure in a way. Sort of a feeling that she kind of understands a bit more in a way that she didn't before. She still feels she's still worried about Thorn, and both with the whole the operation, and also just the past being like, she doesn't really like, but at the same time she feels better about everything.
Okay.
And just feels like she's just kind of trying, going in her head now about how to explain this to Thorn, and after them specifically telling her not to talk to Dillon, and then suddenly, hey.
By the way, I talked to Dillon.
So listen, so first of all, I was minding my own business.
I was just sitting in my cube in my apartment. It's not my fault.
And just like, she's proud of Thorn, I think, in a way.
And with that, we will take a quick break, and then we will come back with more shenanigans involving hopefully the other two players getting to do something. Everybody, we're going to go do the thing. We will catch you all in a couple minutes. We will run some ads so that we can try to be ad-free for the rest of the show, and we will catch you all in just a minute. Bye! One of the best things about my job is creating a reality where good guys actually win.
Yeah.
Speaking of how much would the surgery is $2K, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me just take that off.
Did the party want to look at the studio while Thorn is down, or did you want to wait until Thorn is back up, with the understanding that means when Thorn is back up, you're only going to have a couple days before Grouch is down for the same amount of time, and by the time Grouch gets back up, he no longer has an apartment.
Which one was you mean the Johnny studio thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can. I could do that. I'll go out to do that.
Okay. Did you want to
Maybe
take?
not.
Did you want to take the band? Did you want to take Grouch and or Morgoth?
No, I don't want to take any more.
Fair.
Sit there in
everybody.
silence. No, I'll take the others. Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to Grouch and X1 to see if they want to come, and also mention to Grouch like, do I know about this whole like Grouch is going to be homeless sort of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Oh no! Wait, no. It's not. You're not homeless. You weren't losing your apartment. You lost your job and then had no way to pay for the next month of the apartment. So you're fine.
Right.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So that. Sorry, mixed up my subplots. You're good
For now.
for now.
You do have to go
For now.
ring shopping, though.
Yeah, I
Yes.
do still need to do the ring shopping.
Wait, so Skylar still got the 10,000 eddies though, right?
Yeah, but nobody knows that.
Okay, at least as long as she knows that though.
She knows that.
Okay, thank God.
She ain't told Grouch because that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Give me a heart attack though. Shit. Mine still works, goddammit.
She ain't told Grouch
Nice.
because that crazy old cholo would go put it into his ride. So she's making sure to keep that to the side so nobody knows. Like you do.
I mean, no, she's probably not wrong, although some of that, to be sure, some of that could probably go to text you to start paying off the VIG.
She knows what she's doing. She's competent.
Yeah. No, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
You goddamn right I put toys on the V.
Which, by the way, is something that you legitimately need to start doing. Is we need to start talking about what toys you want to put into the rig, because, like, solos will kit out their body.
Yep.
Net runners will kit out their deck.
Oh, yeah.
Rockers will kit out their appearance and their musical instruments and their band.
Well, yeah.
But riggers need to kit out the rig, because if you're not making your car into the sexiest thing in Night City, then what are you doing as a rigger?
Seriously, if I don't turn the Humvee into some strange amalgamation of Kit, Streakhawk, Airwolf, Blue Thunder, I don't give a what the fuck. If I'm not doing that, then there's a problem.
And Strider has a fate point back, so I'll keep that in my back pocket, because it came in handy last time.
And JK, you're right.
Okay, so you guys, let me go ahead and pull up a map. You guys have so how do you want to handle going to take a look at the studio?
So, remind me, what is this studio? You said it's kind of like the Imagination USA kind of thing of like you work there and also live there.
Well, kinda, yeah. It's you know that Johnny Silverhand has a number of these Silverhand Studios that are generally designed for multiple artists to be able to live in. And most of them are musicians, but not all of them. And the way that it works is the buildings are rented out for less than they should be worth for the amount of space and equipment that is in them to artists. The reason why he doesn't supply it free is it is generally Johnny's belief that if you're not, you don't need to be struggling to make art, but you need to stay hungry. And if you need to get enough gigs to be able to afford your place to live, you will go and get gigs. So that's why he doesn't offer them for free. But he does offer them for less than you would normally pay for them. And the site manager is generally an ex-edge runner who isn't actually a fixer, but knows enough fixers where if the band is strapped for cash and needs ways to make money, can suggest ways that the site manager believes are within their means.
So, if I take the band with me and then the others, the guys as well, like, would the apartment be like something that me and the girls share, or is it we all get our own apartments?
You'll find out when you get there.
Okay,
That's where we'll leave that.
so I'll gather the band, all four of the all three of the other output girls. I'll gather. I'll ask, X1 and Grouch. I'll ask Grouch for a ride, and then also see if X1 wants to come with.
I'll ask
I mean,
Grouch to
officially,
do
if you
his
ask,
job.
I have to. I'm still employed by the company.
I mean, yeah, chauffeur.
But hell yeah, I want to see it.
Okay. And X1, you coming along? Or?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. We will also have a Thorn token on the map for visibility reasons. And I will put down my multitude of accents that I can get wrong.
I'm gonna just
So it
do
begins.
math and eat taco salad while you guys are having fun.
Yeah!
Also, you didn't do the trigger warnings.
Oh, we didn't do the trigger warnings at all. Oh my god. Everybody be triggered. There.
Okay, then.
I love it.
I'll copy pasta them in from one of the other shows. Also, Isabella, I can't wait to use Isabella. I still haven't gotten a chance to do that yet. I'm still looking forward to that story arc. Assume that you have a model to interact with, and I will get this together before next time. It might even show up right now for YouTube viewers, but as far as the rest of you, you're going to have to wait. All right. So you have a phone number for the studio, and you contact the number and set a meeting time. As you all pull up in front of what looks like an old roadside motel, the ones that are like L-shaped with the parking lot in the middle of the L, so that they make this, very large rectangular shape of a lot, where this much of the lot is building, and then this much of the lot is parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what you pull up into. And as you pull up, you see a slightly older man, fairly dark skin tone, with a goatee and dreadlocks that have grayed, and the locks are a little bit longer than shoulder length. He is well dressed and looks like he Thorn, no neon. Give me a wardrobe and style roll.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'm not even here.
I know. I fixed it.
Nice.
46.
Cool. You know that the clothing that he is wearing is exceptionally modern fashion. So the clothing he is wearing is very fashionable. However, what you notice is that he's doing it wrong. Like, he knows what to wear, but he doesn't necessarily know what to wear with what. So, like, his knowledge of... He is trying very hard to appear young and with it, while being either of those things anymore. And you don't know if it's because it's an occupational thing or if it's a vanity thing, but he is trying very hard to look young and have the right fit. And it's just one of those cases of having all of the right parts, but not in the right order.
Okay. I don't say anything, but I clock it.
Got it. And he gets out of his late model sedan, polished chrome look on the outside, underglow RGB lights cycling through. So this is Neon and the Output Girls. I don't even need to ask. I recognize you all. You've been putting on a hell of a show recently. Back to back to back.
Yeah, we've been busy. You know.
And then I heard about that little trick you pulled down in Pacifica. That was pretty impressive.
Very busy.
Very, very busy.
No, I couldn't have done it without my people here. You know, the girls with me and Grouch and X1 are invaluable to my team.
Well, and he comes forward, extends his hand. His right arm is cybernetic. A bit of an older looking model, but it still moves perfectly fluidly. He is a slightly taller man who... Anyone who has seen a picture of Batista recently will know exactly what I'm about to reference. And if you haven't, sorry. He, other than just being a guy that is older and trying to dress younger, he has a physical appearance that you can clock by looking at him of a guy that used to be much larger physically built than he currently is. Like, you don't know if it was heavy set, you don't know if it was muscle, but you know that thing about when somebody goes from like 320 pounds to 180 pounds and like the head never sits right on the shoulders ever again kind of thing. He kind of...
Yeah, because when you look at Batista with hair and a goatee, that's not the same person as Batista is now. That is a different man entirely.
That is someone attempted a cloning experiment and it did not succeed.
Brotista is not what you think of now.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah. So he kind of has that vibe to him, right? Of someone that used to be much larger, and when he moves like someone that is used to taking up more physical space than he does, and all of these things that you pick up from his appearance as he moves over to you, and he comes over, and honestly, even just Batista is a perfect example because he's wearing high fashion, but not necessarily wearing it right or well. He is well groomed and well kept for a man his age, which just demonstrates his age, right? Like all of those things of somebody that's like right there and aware that they're right there, but also trying not to be right there all at the same time. But he comes forward and he extends out a hand to you and he goes, Quine Legras.
Yeah, and Jubilee. Hi.
Yeah.
And I will shake his hand.
All right. Well, come with me and I'll show you around. And with that, the party gets to hear. So, he walks up to... I botched that. He walks over to a door on the side of the building. I will pull NPCs that direction so you guys can see where to go. Boop, boop. And as you come around the side of the building, you will see that there is a door here on the side. And as you go in the door, the first thing you will notice is that there... You know what? Can I just do this for now? Because it doesn't matter right now. Let me just pull this all away. Because that'll make my life so much easier. I can pull it back later. All right. So, as you all are pulled into... The first room that you come into is what was basically the old office of the motel. And Quine explains, this we pretty much just kept in the floor plan just to have a meeting area. This way, if anybody was trying to have a conversation with press or an agent or anything like that, you could have something downstairs that was visible without being directly involved in anything. In the back area of the bottom floor, we have what would be a office area for handling like studio business or that kind of thing, complete with a waiting room and a couple downstairs bathrooms. There is a full recording suite, both booth and recording room. And as he guides you around through the recording room, any of the PCs that are present can make a perception notice check. And I'm going to check for a couple of the NPCs as well. Awareness notice. That's the name of the thing.
I like this place. Bacon.
Ironically, Bacon had one of the lower DCs too.
I'll say I don't like that.
If you don't see the giant cockroaches running across the floor, don't worry, you don't miss anything.
Neon will notice in the studio area. So the studio part here, you have the recording booth. You have the engineer room and the recording booth. In the recording booth is some kit that is just still in there. An old drum set, some amps, some equipment, and very specifically, you notice a black chrome or dark chrome Les Paul guitar. And you are aware that that is the model of guitar that traditionally was played by Johnny Silverhand.
Okay.
As you're going through, Keenan mentions all the stuff over there. We've got some storage area over here for equipment and whatever other items. A lot of the building is currently unfinished. A lot of the rooms are still open. We do also have, if you have a tour bus, we have a garage over here, and eventually Grouch has him walk him over through the garage, and you notice that it not only is it an area large enough that you could build out a tour bus in, or in your case the Hummer in. It has some equipment, but more importantly has the electrical and the structural capacity to be able to have more equipment in it.
Very nice.
Okay. Now, this is all just the downstairs stuff. I mean, obviously, a lot of these rooms you could, use for whatever purposes you wanted them for. Some of these are already built. Some of them are stripped back down again after the last tenants. But if you follow me upstairs, and I'm just going to do the same damn thing with the walls right away, so I don't have to worry about them. And what you guys do is you kind of like walk around outside, out like a back door, and then up a flight of stairs because it's an old motel, and you get to the upstairs, and then as you're walking across, you notice that there are 4 rooms that are basically budget rooms. They're not much larger than coffin rooms, with the exception of the fact that they are a full 6 feet tall. There's just enough room for a bed. There is a bathroom, but like that's it. They are exceptionally small, exceptionally cheap rooms. And then if everybody heads around, without flying, but actually walks around the outside edge of that veranda that overhangs the parking lot, you will see a couple rooms that are still currently like made up to show how the rooms can be laid out. And basically each one has a small living area in the front, and then goes into a bedroom area, and then the back third splits into a small kitchenette and also a bathroom. So this unit,
your question, Thorn.
This unit has 8 of these full-size rooms and 4 of the smaller rooms. and we can either rent it out to the band and extended members, obviously, and he kind of like points around making assumptions, and he points around and he's like, he points at X1 and he's like, your tech or your sound engineer and your driver, they can have if you want to have them be here, they can have rooms here even though they're not in the band. If you wanted to have anybody else and you wanted to rent out the whole thing, then you can rent the whole thing. If you wanted to only rent access to some of the building and leave the other rooms open for other artists, you might wind up with roommates in the future. Basically, the choice on that would be yours.
All right.
Now, the good news is, like we said, 8 full-size rooms, 4 small rooms, studio, garage, all the space you need. Side note for players: if you decide to take this building and continue having your conversation that you're about to have, this will fall under the hangout rules as published in Cyberpunk Red, because there is an entire DLC for building your base and adding gear to your base and adding equipment to your hideout and what it can do for your crew. And it takes a combination of money and XP. And that is all stuff that you guys have secretly been accruing XP points for, because I knew I was going to be doing this eventually. But if you wanted to do any, that's also why some of the equipment is already in here. If you wanted to build that out, there's actual in-game mechanics in Cyberpunk Red, not 2020, but I'm stealing them because fuck it, I can.
I'm so down.
So basically, it'd be all of us, like the 4 of us plus the band, all just kind of living here, using these rooms and stuff.
It can be. It absolutely can be. Yeah. And that's the conversation that you and the party and the band are about to have, while he goes and wanders off a reasonable distance to allow you to have private conversations.
I just kind of look at everyone and then I'll especially mostly looking at the band first and being like, this is a pretty sweet deal. Would you wanna all live together?
You see Dexy kind of looks in one of the larger rooms, and you are aware that she is unimpressed. But she looks over at one of the smaller, one of the budget rooms, and she just looks back at you and says, small, in what most people think is derogatory towards the size of the room, but you know that she's really excited about the exact size of that room.
I mean, we can definitely find a closet for you.
Cherry
She's just Bender, living in the closet while the rest of the room is just wide open.
To be fair, when I was a little autistic kid, I would beg my mom to let me live under the stairs like Harry Potter because I liked the idea of a nook, and she never let me do it because she thought it would be mean, but I was always angry about it. Give me a nook. I want a little nook.
As a side note, there is a thing that if you ever know anyone in the van life community, they will very quickly tell you that there is a thing that is different about sleeping on a queen-sized bed in the back of a pickup truck or in the back of a van than in an apartment or a house. Like, there's just something about van lifing and just knowing you were in that small enclosed space where your sleeping space completely hits different than any other sleeping space in the world. And having done it myself, I can't even explain what it is, but it is most definitely a thing. And some people love it and some people hate it.
I've done it. That's why I like this little bed out here.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, at the moment, I kind of miss it because all of this is too large. Cherry speaks up and says, I mean, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but a recording studio? Like, full-time access to a recording studio? We'd be stupid to pass this up just for what that's going to save us, what that's going to let us do to just go in and just, throw down riffs at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Totally. I mean, yeah, like it would definitely, we could come around anytime we want and get things done if need be. It would definitely help our practicing more.
Yeah.
Instead of having to schedule it, and I'm sure, Thorn's neighbors probably would appreciate us not having to keep co-opting the living room of their place.
Yeah, and Ariel says, I mean, no offense to them giving us that space to practice in, but I'd really like to be able to practice with my whole drum kit.
Yeah, that too.
With the soundproofing, like from upstairs to downstairs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. It's the studio is like the studio space is fully sound deadened. So it is a preem recording area.
And I'm sure X1, you'd have a good, like, if you want to join us.
I mean, think of the rain dances we could make. I could run an own Netrunning fortress here. I could do a networking hub. I could put a turret on the roof.
I mean,
he's obviously excited. He's super excited, obviously.
I don't know if putting a turret, if
you're right, two turrets, you talked me into it.
I don't know if putting weaponizing the studio would violate the warranty, but we could ask about it. If we want to make a murder fortress, I don't know. That's up to you. But security's nice, I suppose. Yeah, and you'd have a nice place to park the car, Crouch, and we'd have access to the vehicle if need be.
And a full-on garage in order to make repairs, modifications. I'll need some more kit for that, but
I'm assuming Strider would want to come with as well. And
Strider's like, yeah, I mean, we need to ask him how much it's going to run, but you know, me and Grouch can take one of the 8 larger rooms, and I mean, we have more than enough storage space downstairs for everything, and this way, if anything happens to any of the crew or any of the band in the future, and they need to lay low and relax for a couple days, we could even have, a separate room, like a quiet room for them to be able to recover in. I mean, she's just looking around. She's like, there's a lot here, and I mean, a lot of this is still bare bones. We'd have to get furniture and stuff, but a lot of this could be really, really good for all of us.
I always wanted to live with the hippies. I look at Grouch. It's just like the El Picados, but we don't have to be on the move all the time.
I mean, this would be a fantastic community setup. Let's face it, we're kind of a community around here.
Yeah, it's right.
I mean, I wonder if Thorn would want to take that step too, and move in and stuff. At the very least, maybe they'd like to be not sharing a room with their friend.
Go Jagger. No one tells Taggart.
To be fair, Neon, you do know that sometimes those two sleep in the same bed, even though they don't have to, just because they feel like it. So it's not like they care. But
Nobody tells Tagger that everybody's moving. Nobody tells Tagger where they're moving to. He just comes back from a walk one day and the apartment's empty.
it's called an Irish goodbye. You should be used to it by
Oh.
Though there'd be a lot more room. Like the parking lot would be a nice place to train Krampus.
Yeah.
Give him a place to run.
That's not bad.
Yeah, we just make the downstairs like the communal area, right?
Yeah,
And
I mean,
upstairs is the private.
that's pretty much how it's laid out. The downstairs has anything that anyone who doesn't live here might need to interact with, right? Like there's an area downstairs that can be made into a kitchen and cafeteria and larger eating area. There's the area downstairs for the studio. There's the area downstairs for the garage. There's a lot of areas downstairs for storage where you might need people to come in and out. But everything upstairs is just the apartments. So that you have that separation, so that you have a physical separation of living space above, working space below. And anybody that doesn't live there has no reason to come upstairs unless they're specifically requested or invited upstairs. So it has that like separate structure commune kind of feel, especially with the fact that to get from the upstairs to the downstairs, you literally need to walk outside because the stairwell, the way you get to all of the rooms is along that veranda walkway that has an exterior stairwell that leads back into the building. So
Awesome.
it does give that idea of having a bit of a separation between living space, working space. And Neon, give me a human awareness roll. Human perception roll, sorry. You got me.
14.
The building itself actually, like, it has very, very punk vibes to it. Like, it feels like it feels like a band hangout. It's that, you know, a repurposed place where the original purpose of this building was for, you know, out-of-towners to have romantic trysts and, you know, bored housewives to come have someplace to fuck. And that energy then carried into it being a place for rock and roll to be made and recorded by a bunch of people that are kind of on the same wavelength. And then, so, like, the whole place just has a... like, it down in its bones, you can feel that it has a subversion of authority kind of vibe to it, a little bit of a unwanted people's kind of vibe to it being a motel. So it has like all of these energies just baked into it that really that give it the ability to like be honest with what it is and have that like almost daring someone to challenge it on its existence kind of vibe in the building itself, which you immediately pick up on and kind of internalize.
This truly is the Cyberpunk 2025. I mean,
always wanted to live in my own trap house. Come on, it's sweet.
well, I mean, given who's living here, that's already was going to be a given, or, you know, X1.
I mean, there is that.
I fucking love this. Can we call it that and not tell them like it's a triple entendre? Just tell them not what trap it is.
The trap house.
Yeah,
It's the trap house.
I fucking love it.
Y'all keep making trap house jokes. I'm gonna have to tell that other story about how Jericho met my mom for the first time.
Yo, that triggered a story. We definitely have to hear it.
Ask me when I'm back in the scene again.
Okay, I got you.
So, you guys have a conversation for a while, and everybody agrees that, this is, an amazing place for a lot of different reasons. So, Keenan comes walking back around, and he was like, so, did you all kind of come to an agreement about anything?
We like it a lot. We could definitely use the space. Like all of us could use the space. Both the band and my team.
Okay.
There would be at least one more person moving in, if we were to take the deal.
I mean, that's entirely up to you. If you are looking to secure the whole building, and it's just you and no other bands, no other artists coming in, that's a thing you can do. And then you're looking at the buildings. It should list for $25 a month. I can give it to you guys for 19.
Wait, 100 or 1,000?
1,000.
Okay.
If you
19 eddies, what a steal!
19 eddies.
I was gonna say.
If you guys want to be able to, if you want to piecemeal out how many rooms you want, how to have some extra other rooms open for other people to come in, then obviously we can lower that price, and then I'll keep some of the rooms available on the market. The reason why it's empty right now is the last group that was using the building, they were holding down the whole thing and keeping it for themselves and their entourage, and they moved on. So the whole building's open again at once. Doesn't happen a lot.
No, between all of us, what do you think?
I look over at Neon. Hey, I usually live kind of embarrassing at the arcology. I know what it's like to live and manage a big complex with many people and families like this. If you trust me, I can rent out the other rooms and use side hustles and make money. I can make this place sustainable for us if you just want to take the whole lot.
You sure?
Oh yeah,
I don't want to put that kind of pressure on you.
I sleep on Grouch's couch and I like help you with AV stuff. Trust me, this is a way for me to pull my own weight. I've done jack shit.
So X1 doesn't have a job here.
Yeah, right. I'm literally doing nothing. I make the facilities manager. Yeah.
I mean,
I could talk to Nalani and have you officially put on some kind of contract for facility manager or something like that. That could be a thing.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
The same way Grouch is our chauffeur.
I'll make you money, I promise.
And we have all seen what my son Akisuno can do. We've all seen his abilities to manipulate the data to make it very profitable. Just saying.
Trap house.
And if we do want to, I guess we could also rent out some of the rooms to some people we trust, if need be, and do that.
See, there's plenty of ways to make money from here. We just have to worry about the initial down payment, and then the rest of it, no worries.
Yeah, I kind of turned to the other guy and like, is this one of those things where we need like to pay like double rent for the first month and then it's good, or is this like we just give you money now and so, you know how? So what's the HOA like?
You're right.
So Johnny has very specific rules on this. And those rules are, there is no point in collecting a security deposit because that's only seen as a challenge. So if we ask for 10,000 in a security deposit, then that means on your way out, since you know you're not getting anything back anyway, you need to make sure you do at least $10,000 worth of damage. So rather than putting that much effort on your shoulders, don't need to worry about the security deposit. Started a month, every month, 19. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you said one more, maybe two more.
Potentially, yeah.
Do quick checks on everyone. We're looking at about 1,000 eddies. And I'm not expecting to look into identities. I'm not expecting to look into legalities. I am merely looking to see if, according to the information you give me, that any of you have fucked up an apartment before. Because as long as the information you give me doesn't show me that you fucked up an apartment before, I can go to my insurance company and go, look, they're clean. And then I don't have to worry about my insurance rates tripling.
I look over at X1.
Okay, technically he was a government official, and it was a love interest conflicts. We didn't trash the building. I stole his girlfriend. Big difference. But you might want to use a different name for me on the renters agreement. Now that I think about it,
I'm just saying I will run whatever IDs you give me. I have no control over what IDs that you hand me. All I can do is run the ones that I'm handed, and as long as the ones that I'm handed come back clean, I don't care.
Gotcha.
Also, remember, yes, the expectation is that you are all probably edge runners, and the only reason why I'm saying that is the expectation is you're edge runners is because the expectation is you're also rockers, and if you're a rocker, well, you're involved at some level with something other than legality anyway.
I mean, you saw the news, right?
Yeah, we saw the news. So at least, I know what I'm dealing with. But, again, remember, Johnny Silverhands owns the place. He could make a whole lot of money selling to corporate suits who would keep this building nice and prim and proper for their side pieces. And probably make 3 times the money off of it. But that's not the point. The point is to make sure that starving artists have a roof over their heads, so that they're only hungry artists, so that they can go and make money and tell everyone about the evils of the man and the government and the corporations and capitalism and whatever.
Okay.
So, 1,000 up front, which is non-renewable, which is non-returnable, which I'm going to use to run, 10 IDs. And then as long as none of those IDs coming back owing money to a former landlord, which if they do, you're too dumb to rent from us anyway. As long as none of those IDs coming back with you owing money, then first of the month you can move in for 19. If you want to move in earlier than that, we can prorate, and for an extra 800 you could move in tomorrow.
How close is it to the end of the month?
It is currently probably like the 19th.
I mean, we might need some time to pack everything up, so maybe waiting until the 1st is better. That way we can make sure that the Well, when is Grouch's thing?
24th.
24th. Will he be
So,
available by the 1st?
well, the concert is the 24th to make the money to have him be able to go under the knife. He would probably then be going under the knife that Sunday or Monday. So you'd be looking at probably the 26th, 27th, 28th is when he would do his surgery and then start his VAT time. So he might not be available until the 1st or 2nd. So you all would probably want to make sure that he and Strider were out of their current place before the 1st, just to avoid having to move either while he's not available or immediately after his surgery, and also paying an extra month's rent there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help out with Grouch and Skylar for sure. Make sure that he can stay rested.
So I just kind of look at the party then. So like, I mostly look at Grouch and leave like, would you prefer waiting, or would you want to start loading things down?
I need to. At this point, I'd speak to Strider. What do you think, Peps?
If we can get in, I'm trying to keep all of my accents separate. If we can manage to get in before the end of the month, and then we don't have to pay in our current place, then, and we're only paying here, then that actually saves us some money. And if we can have like a week up, like a week before the end of the month, to be able to move stuff in, get everything situated, and then you know that I'm here and I'm with the girls and everything is fine when you go under and we're already moved in. I just think that would be more peace of mind for you than anything else.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
No, if you think we can all handle that, then sure, let's do that.
Have I mentioned Strider's a hell of a lot more intelligent than I am?
I noticed. She just kind of smiles at you.
Morgoth
Smart.
and Jerica, give me human perception checks, please.
Okay. Oh, that's the one I don't have.
This is how you get it.
Right.
This is how you botch a roll.
You see, sometimes you roll a 10, and sometimes you roll a 10.
So,
Yep.
Morgoth, give me a roll on that fumble table there, sir.
I may be spending fate points if it gets real bad. Whoops, that's have to push two buttons.
Okay.
Is it irreparable? Should I blow a fate point?
No, you're fine. You're fine. Generally, 8, 9, or 10 is what you really want to avoid.
Okay.
But you don't notice a thing. Give me now a.
Yeah, I'm completely checking something else.
Is this actually a skill? Give me just a straight up cool check.
Cool check.
Both of
I
us?
think that's how I do it.
No, just him. Okay. Yeah. So you're pretty sure that no one noticed that you just completely missed whatever it was that you were hoping to notice. Neon notices that when Grouch talks about how smart Strider is. You do notice that there is a little bit of like an emotional quotient to her response, but you also notice that there is a tinge of fear or trepidation about saying something that would make people ask questions. That Grouch and X1 just completely miss.
You just pack them away.
Just keep packing those away. All right.
Oh dear.
But she does say, but as far as that extra month, I mean, that would mostly be for the extra week. That would mostly be for our benefit. I am totally okay. And she looks at Grouch. I am totally okay with covering that prorate for getting the place so that we all have access to it earlier. And I can handle that, and that way nobody else has to worry about that. I have a little bit of money saved away in case we had a problem. So if we're not looking to need to pay for Grouch's surgery, then my rainy day fund doesn't have something that it needs to worry about rain for a while. So I can use that to get us an extra week's worth of time here to try to get everything situated.
Makes sense. You should be good on the heart front. I mean, you know, last couple of shows we've been doing have been pretty packed, so.
And Keenan just says, okay, then I'll just I'll make sure that you have my my deets, and then I will wait to get the information and the money from you to run the background checks, and then I should be able to tell you in 2 days if you're good to go or not.
Okay.
All right.
Actually,
Ariel is kind of like, as you're having this intelligent adult conversation, Ariel is just kind of like, you just occasionally see her out of the corner of your eye, like walking into and out of rooms and like checking things and like measuring off like heel toe kind of measurements for everything, trying to figure out the sizes of all of the rooms in the entire building, and just like really getting into the nitty gritty of what the building is while you're talking important contract talks.
I'll just be like, actually, and then she'll kind of think for a second and be like, no, never mind. And just kind of look over at Ariel, just be like, at least, you say Ariel or Cherry?
Ariel is walking around doing that.
Look over Ariel and like, enjoying the space?
Yeah, I mean, this is really large, and I mean, it's got a full studio, and we'll all be able to have rooms in here, and then and everybody else can be here. Yeah, this is we have our own parking lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all the other stuff.
You're completely unaware of but literally you can see like her eyes glow at the idea of you own your own parking lot. You have no idea where that's coming from, but for some reason, the fact that you guys could wind up owning a parking lot is like the selling feature of all selling features.
Where does Ariel live? Because Cherry lives in an actual apartment, and Dexy is in a coffin. What is Ariel's current living situation?
Ariel lives in a cubicle apartment as well. It's not in as good a neighborhood, and it is most definitely a walk up. But yeah, it's something similar. But again, one of those things where the smaller rooms would be a little bit of a downgrade, but the larger rooms would definitely be an upgrade in space.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get to work then.
Okay.
I'll have to I'll have to get Thorn's ID. But other than that,
Ironically, Thorn has one of the best IDs. It's also one of the most recent.
yeah, I'm assuming that the Neon would. I was thinking Neon would be aware that Thorn has a
Yes.
a good ID on them.
You are very aware that Thorn has that Thorn has what on the street is called a pair of new shoes. Thorn knows a fixer whose job is specifically to make identities for people. So Thorn has
and Tiger or just
maybe Thorn has probably one of the most ironclad identities of anyone in the party or in the band, and their identity is completely fictitious, but it's still pretty ironclad.
Okay.
You know that that Cherry still has their SIN number. You know that I want to say Dexy does and Ariel does not, but they have a clean criminal record, and that's one of those things where in a free state, if you don't have a SIN, it's not as big a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're all getting done with all of this, Neon, the phone that is in your pocket that is Thorn's phone, begins to ring.
I'll pick it up. Is there? I forget. Do we see caller ID in
Yes.
this universe or not? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look at to see who it is.
It's Nevin, the
Okay.
Ripper Doc.
I'll move away from the group and just kind of find like a little corner somewhere and just like, move like over here, something like that, and take the call.
Neon, they went fucking crazy. Get away.
Neon, it's Nevin. Just want to let you know, I know that on our original schedule of events, we were expecting Thorn to be here and boarding from like Thursday to Wednesday.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, no, everything's fine. Just unless you specifically need time away for whatever I don't want to know about, I'm thinking Monday night, Tuesday morning might be okay.
They just healed through it.
Yeah, like probably already almost halfway done.
That's not normal, is it?
No, not a little bit. Not even a little bit. Like if we leave them cooking in there until Wednesday, they'll come out and there won't even be bruises. And normally, if I pulled somebody out Friday morning, they'd be stiff and sore for at least a week, maybe two. But
Did those scans pick anything up?
yeah, a little bit. And I figure we'll talk about all of that once everybody is awake.
All right. I'm glad they're recovering.
Yeah, me too. I mean, always better to need less time than more.
I guess I'll come see you when I'm done here, or whenever you need me. I'll just kind of say bye and
Yep, and just be
be back.
slightly confused and slightly nervous. Sunday.
I will say, you all come. You see Neon come back with kind of not concerned, but just sort of a confused and sort of strange look on her face for a bit. But she doesn't say anything. But once we all finish our work here and we get back into Grouch's truck and to leave and get things ready, Neon will just kind of say, "Hey, so Thorn's healed."
Yeah, you
What?
sound surprised.
What do you mean healed? That's Cherry.
As in, they just had really invasive surgery to install a Sandevistan into their spine, and the other day, and they're good.
What do you mean good?
What?
They can be released, and they don't have any wounds. Or I mean, I told you. I mean, you saw Thorn take miniguns and bullets all night that night, and then he walked out. They walked out and didn't seem to care.
You just see Cherry has a very incredulous look on her face, and she's like, "Damn, I'm jealous of that slut's recovery."
So I guess I can go see them. I'm happy. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, yeah, good to be good to get notice that they're getting out early, and then you can let them know about all this thing. And I mean, it's all good news for once. That's a plus.
That was fine. Yeah. Well, I have some stuff to talk about anyway, so I guess I'll see what's going on. I guess I'll need to head over to Ripper Doc's place soon.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Sunday. In the midst of
Sunday.
Sunday.
Bloody Sunday.
In the midst of all of this happening, we catch up to Morgoth. I need to put in specifically the church music. I have church music. I just need to specifically put it in, especially because we apparently keep going back there now. Morgoth. X1 goes to Holy Family Church on Sunday.
Yep, always.
All right. Talk me through it for a second.
Typical mass, unless
Sorry,
there's
Holy
an event.
Angels, not Holy Family. I've done that wrong all night. God damn it.
I assume it's normal mass unless there's an event or a holiday in which they go ham because they party.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just I don't know of any feast day that would be available right now, so just a normal mass. Oh wait, they're over there. Cool.
I
Squeeze everybody
may
over into the corner.
say something to a friend, or if I recognize something, they're prompted. Recently, Cyber Jesus has been looking out for the group, so I'm pretty stoked about that. 2, I am a bit apprehensive on getting close to new family because everyone that I made friends with in the past has blown up in a car, kidnapped, died, etc. And it started here at the church at a friend's funeral. So I am reflective. I might talk to father or something, not sure.
Okay. After the mass, at the you stick around after the mass for a little while, praying as you do, and during that conversation, a Father Kevin, no longer investments because he took them off after. Yes, I do have multiple models for all of my priests.
Oh,
Thank you.
Check you out.
Father Kevin will approach you after the mass is over, once mostly everyone has cleared out. So, my son, you've had a less than quiet month.
It's true, Father.
Do you mind heading back into the sacristy with me for a second, my son?
I'll go for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So he heads you back into the back room of the church. You have never been back here before. It is a small area tucked around, like behind the altar, behind the massive altar and glowing lights with three different images of Jesus in the front of the church, by the way.
Yep.
There's, one on the cross and then two other.
You got the good buddy Jesus pose and Holy Cross.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
And the cross one is actually the cross that he is holding is actually like an electronic circuit board and is very modern and tech looking.
Cyber Jesus. That's the one that I pray to the most.
Yes. And there's a bunch of neon lights in the back and everything, and it's very, 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 very tech. But you go into I'm sad there's no Cyber Buddy Christ. There is a Buddy Christ. There's just not a Cyber Buddy Christ. That would be anachronistic. But I'm glad that you all got a chance to look at those statues, and I won't tell you why. So you go back in the sacristy, and there's a cabinet with vestments. There's a camera, a massive walk-in safe that has church artifacts in it and communion wafers and where the wine is stored and all of that. And there's a couple chairs and a small table in the back, and he kind of like just gestures towards one of the chairs.
Sit down.
So, as you know, I've had my ear to the ground as far as the death of Angelo.
I've listened intently. Yeah.
So when you were at Ridge Systems, did you ever hear about a Project Crossroad?
I'm just gonna run with this and assume that I did. Is that cool? And go, yeah, that was the project. I didn't know too much about it, but I had friends working on it.
Yeah. So Angelo was working on Crossroads. And so was a Nolan Carson and a Michelle Goodwin and an Elsie Alston and a Renee Manzanares and a Carl Wallace.
I'm assuming some of these names I for sure recognize from the teams and whatnot.
Yes. And specifically, you know that you were friends with Angelo and Renee.
Yeah. Yeah, Renee was the previous year.
Right.
And go, so this program you talked about, Crossroads, it was purely for the automotive tracking transit, correct?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
And I stopped to think, and before I said no, I just listen, seeing where this is going.
I don't know everyone that was involved in Project Crossroads, but I know these 5. Because they're all dead. And they all died under accidental circumstances involving motor vehicle accidents. And while that is second only to gunfire, that is the most likely way that you're going to have an accident and die in Night City. Renee Manzares died on a bus that crashed between Night City and LA. And Carl Wallace died in a motor vehicle accident while he was on vacation up in Washington. So, not even in the city. But as far as I've been able to find, as far as people that programmed and worked on that project, that's 5 out of 5 that were involved in a project that took place in the automotive spectrum of electronics. And 5 out of 5 died in a unexplainable vehicular accident.
It seems more than serendipitous, more like a cruel irony. Or intentional.
Yeah. So I don't have any names. I don't have any ID. I don't have any leads aside from that information so far. And I'm going to keep looking. But I just wanted to let you know that's what we've come up with so far.
I appreciate it, Padre.
So, Mr. Murphy tells me that you all had a little bit of excitement last week.
That is very exciting. It was good to see Murphy there. It's a shame to take him out of the garden, but man, I was so glad he was there.
Yeah, he's a very, very talented gardener.
Good way to put it.
All right. Well, I will let you go. do whatever it is that you need to do. If I find out anything else, I'll make sure to let you know.
Thank you, Padre. Keep up the Lord's good work.
Always.
Oh, yeah.
And
I did the Lord's work and shepherded a lot of people to Jesus that night.
Amen.
okay, and with that, we are at time. So, chat, you get to decide who you want to give a fate point to. There was no action this week, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure the last 2 weeks you had more than your fair share of dice rolls and blood and explosions. There is more action to come. Trust me. But we needed to get some things set up. And we will have an all-new Thorn ready to go next week.
Will they come out before or after inauguration?
I was trying to decide if I wanted... It's going to be after. I was trying to decide if I wanted to leave on an inauguration bit like we did in the first episode, or if I wanted to leave on the information about X1's past. So I went with the personal angle, and then that way you guys can be seething with brand new anger at the start of the next episode.
Cool.
Wait, why?
Uh-oh.
I have things planned.
Also, while we're waiting for everybody to vote, do you all want to hear that story?
Yeah, let's do the story, and then we can do our closing bits, and then we can figure out how everybody voted,
Cool.
and then we will only be a half hour, off schedule, and I will feel good about myself. Thorn, because
And
0 is
I'll
bad. That's
put
true.
Hang on. Okay, so
If this is a story that Jerica is okay with being shared, let's put that out there first.
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Trust me, she's gonna enjoy me recounting this. So, I'm gonna preface this with, I don't know if my mother knew
Fair.
that she was saying what she was saying. But the very first time Jerica and my mother ever met was because the night before, me and Jerica had gone to San Diego Pride together. And for San Diego Pride, Jerica was wearing a shirt that was a Star Wars reference that said, "It's a trap."
Yo.
Because she thought it would be funny. And it was funny.
It's the Adam Rathbar whole thing.
Yeah. And so we partied kind of hard, and she ended up staying the night for the first time in the little trailer guest house that I had out in the back of my mom's house at the time. And then when we went in to like the house in the kitchen area, my mom happened to be there, and so that's just when they crossed paths for the first time, and they idly chatted. And my mother, in all of her infinite awkwardness, smiled and pointed at Jerica's shirt and said, "I love that shirt." And she pointed at Jerica and said, "You're right, it's a trap."
Yes. Yes.
And she's very cisgender and heterosexual, so I don't know if she knew the joke Jericho was making, but I also can't possibly think of another explanation for why she would say that if she didn't, or what she thought that meant. And then she left to go do a thing with her friends.
In a very similar, they couldn't have known what they were saying moment, I will remove all names from this story for reasons that will become obvious. When I was in high school, went to a parochial Roman Catholic high school, by the way. Some people know this, some people don't. But believe it or not, your boy was actually went to 8 years of Roman Catholic grade school, 4 years of Roman Catholic high school, and did pre-seminary work.
Whoa.
I almost went to seminary after graduation. I did not, for other reasons that will be discussed later, that are not germane to this story. But just Just dad drop those nuggets in there. So junior or senior year, I forget which, I was talking to the football coach. And the football coach was talking about certain things happening with the team, blah, 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 blah. And while we were having this conversation, the female teacher who was the cheerleading coach walks around the corner, kind of gets involved in the conversation, and references the fact that she is upset with the cheer team's performance the last 2 home games, and that she feels like their performance has been lackluster. Not that that's nearly as important as the performance of the football team. She gets it, but it's the performance that she's responsible for, and she feels bad because the cheerleaders aren't doing a good job. And then looks the coach dead in the face and says, so, I mean, if those girls don't start putting out, they are off the team.
Oh.
To which a 29-year-old ex-Marine looks her dead in the face and goes, yes, ma'am. And manages to do nothing else except give me a side eye of, if you fucking say anything, I'll murder you. So I just stand there. So he's just like, looks down at me and goes, yes, ma'am. And I'm just standing there like, this man could kill me by snapping his fingers. I ain't going to do shit. And then like they finish like 2 or 3 more minutes of conversation, and then she leaves. And then he just looks at me and he goes, and I'm like, man, she's just that clueless. She's never going to know what she just said, ever. And he's just like, I was so close to getting fired.
And being like, no, that's how you get the football team to perform better.
I don't even know what he was going to say. He never said it because he is a good one, but he's also an ex-Marine. So the next words out of his mouth could literally have been, former Marine. So the next words out of his mouth could have been anything. And he was just like, you saw him like literally like almost gulp the words back into his mouth to avoid saying, just like, oh.
And it actually pinching up from saying it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So,
That's like me and Jenny, because I remember looking at her and she just kind of was smiling and she just like closed her eyes for a second when Mama did that, and I was like on the verge of tears, trying not to laugh. I was just like,
yeah,
yeah, Mom, yeah, that's right.
Good times. All right. Well, I forgot to do my housekeeping earlier, but I'm going to make you guys do yours, and I'm just going to steal mine from last week.
That's fair.
I mean,
let me get the pins. All models in this game built with Hero Forge. Each player built their own models. All of the models shown in the series can be found in the Hero Forge community by Hero Forge subscribers by searching for the 2025 tag.
Maps used in this series are Spy Solution, Shapeku, the Cyber Frag maps, and the Artelasaurian Games website.
Music played during the show is from artists such as Tabletop Audio, Karl Casey at Wipeout, Neon Shudder, Kenshiro Plus, Gregorio Franco, Mangadrive, Quine, and See Thomas Howl.
please check out this and other shows at twitch.tv/singlestepgaming, at youtube.com/ampersand/singlestepgaming, at Blue Sky at Single Step Gaming, and check out fun-related merchandise. Example,
Woohoo!
at excuse me, at singlestepgaming-shop.fourthwall.com. And remember, kids, Twitch subs get a discount on all merchandise. And unfortunately, if you did play the Bacon Corpse drinking game tonight, you're probably still sober. Sorry, kids.
That's
There was
okay.
one.
Can't kill everybody every week. Also, this shirt that I'm wearing is in fact not actually a neon shirt. This belongs to a a synthwave artist who I know named L.A. Arson. That is spelled ELAY space ARSON. So if you want to hear music from someone that looks this cool, go look up their stuff. We don't have
It's
that.
like an X-Men.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so go listen to that. Their stuff is great. As far as the voting, we have Neon, Thorn because 0 is bad, X1 for friend lore, Thorn shouldn't have 0, Thorn for being a good kisser, and
I wasn't even here this session.
yeah, it's okay. Apparently, your fate points magically regenerate too. So, so there we go. So everybody, if you're watching this on YouTube, that means I've gotten my editing done, and there wasn't an episode last week because we didn't film one last week. Ironically, the 2 shows that I've been doing episodes for, neither one filmed last week, which is why there was no YouTube episodes put up, but that also means I had a week without editing, and I'm happy. I hate editing so much. But that is going to be it for this. If you want more of this show, and you are watching this on YouTube, you can catch us live Saturday evening, 7 p.m. to 11-ish. Also, we are very shortly going to have a Daggerheart campaign on Sunday, GM'd by Morgoth, with me as a player. We have a Monday campaign where Jerica is the GM and Sunny and I are playing in that one. We have a Tuesday campaign, which is a old school D&D campaign, which involves none of these people. Wednesday, we will soon have a Blades in the Dark campaign, which will also include Jerica and Sunny, and perhaps me. And then Thursday, we will be soon having our Salvage Union campaign, in which, for the first time ever on stream, Jerica and I will be on the same side of the table. And I'm looking forward to this because this means we get to ruin someone else's day.
Yay.
Poor Morton. He has no clue what he's getting into. And then Friday, we have our small packages campaign, which again involves none of these people, but is a fun little 5e campaign, which is mostly a new player training campaign, which is why it involves none of these people. Anyway, please check out any of those shows if any of them are sound interesting to you. Also, check out our other offerings here on YouTube. Thank you all very much for being here, either on YouTube or on Twitch. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you for all of your support, and we will catch you all next week. Bye-bye!
Bye.
Good night, kids.